Gentlemen, we have some breaking news, major breaking news, and it's not looking so good for Donald Trump. And I'll tell you why right here in today's in this legal breaking reporting. Because it's not gonna look so good on Donald Trump in Kilmar Abrego's case, because U.S. District Judge Paula Zenas is going to have, more than likely, absolutely more reason to hold Donald Trump and his corrupt, illegal administration that illegally, unlawfully, and unconstitutionally violated Kilmar Abrego Garcia, violated his 2019 immigration order, and violated the Supreme Court order to facilitate and bring him home immediately in a 9-0 ruling. Let's find out all the brand new legal breaking reporting information in today's video. This is the same video that's recorded on the day that Senator Chris Van Hollen has traveled to El Salvador to try to facilitate Kilmar Abrego Garcia's return. At least somebody wants to do right with the Supreme Court. The article, ladies and gentlemen, is titled, Senator Van Hollen denied meeting in El Salvador with Kilmar Abrego, man mistakenly deported from U.S. And ladies and gentlemen, the article reads, during the first day of his trip to El Salvador, Maryland, Senator Chris Van Hollen was denied a meeting or phone call with Kilmar Abrego Garcia with, the Maryland man who was mistakenly deported to that country. Van Hollen was able to meet with the vice president of El Salvador. Abrego Garcia's case has sparked a series of court proceedings during which a federal judge ordered the government to return him to the U.S. from El Salvador Supermax prison CCOT. The Trump administration raised the case to the Supreme Court, which also ordered the Trump administration to facilitate Garcia's return. Van Hollen traveled to El Salvador to check on Abrego Garcia's well-being and to meet with El Salvadorian government leaders after promising Abrego Garcia's family that he would try to aid in his release. Ladies and gentlemen, the Senator Chris Van Hollen hopes to see Garcia. Senator Van Hollen said he hopes to meet with El Salvador's President Nayib Bukele. Instead, he met with Vice President Felix Ulloa on Wednesday. During that meeting, Van Hollen said that Ulloa indicated he would need a little more time to arrange an in-person prison meeting between Abrego Garcia and the senator. However, when the senator offered to return next week, he said Ulloa told him he could not promise a meeting would happen at all. Van Hollen was also denied a phone call with Abrego Garcia. Ulloa suggested that the requests be handled by the U.S. Embassy instead. We have an unjust situation here, Van Hollen said during a live-streamed news conference. The Trump administration is lying about Abrego Garcia. The American courts have looked at the facts. Kilmar Abrego Garcia's wrongful deportation, ladies and gentlemen. During his update, U.S. Senator Van Hollen emphasized that Abrego Garcia should not have been deported, as he had been granted withholding of removal order from an immigration judge. Abrego Garcia is legally in the U.S., Van Hollen said, adding that an immigration judge found years ago that it would put his life in danger if he was returned to El Salvador. Abrego Garcia was arrested by U.S. Customs Enforcement, U.S. Customs and Immigration Enforcement in March as he was leaving his job in Baltimore, Maryland, and returning him to Prince George's country. On March 15, he was deported to El Salvador on a plane illegally. Illegally being my editorial's note, ladies and gentlemen. With more than 200 other migrants that the Trump administration claims had gang affiliations. ICE later admitted that Abrego Garcia was deported because of an administrative error. However, they did not take action to return him to the U.S. Kilmar Abrego Garcia's alleged ties to MS-13. The Trump administration has said that Abrego Garcia is a member of the MS-13 gang, a claim his attorneys and family deny. He also has no criminal history in any country. The case of Abrego Garcia does not have to do with MS-13. Senator Van Hollen, excuse me, Senator Van Hollen said, if you listen to President Trump and the Trump administration, Mr. Garcia is part of MS-13, but they have not found that. In fact, recently, a U.S. district judge said that the Trump administration did not have evidence to support the claim that he had ever been part of MS-13. Ladies and gentlemen, why can't Kilmar Abrego Garcia be returned to the U.S.? We're about to find out that reason, despite Donald Trump telling lies, including his administration telling lies. During his update in El Salvador, Senator Van Hollen questioned why Abrego Garcia is still being held in at CCOT, and asked if the government has any evidence of Abrego Garcia's gang ties. The government of El Salvador has no evidence that he is part of MS-13, so why is El Salvador continuing to hold him in CCOT? The senator questioned. According to Van Hollen, the vice president said the Trump administration is paying El Salvador to keep Abrego Garcia at CCOT. When asked again why El Salvador could not release Abrego Garcia, Vice President Ulloa referred to a statement that Salvadoran President Nayib Bukele gave while visiting the White House, saying the country cannot smuggle Abrego Garcia back into the U.S. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we know that's a lie. Plus, it wouldn't be considered smuggling him back into the U.S. because it would be a lawful court order to return him. And I swear to God, if the Trump administration deports him at the port of entry, this is going to go way further than contempt. I know it as well as U.S. District Judge Paula Zenas knows it. As always, I will continue to try to provide as much as information and legal information and legal updates to you guys as best as I can. That is going to do it for today's legal breaking reporting. If you did enjoy this, this second or third legal breaking reporting of the day, please consider liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing. If you want to make sure you never miss a brand new legal breaking reporting, please follow me on my social medias. That'll be linked down below. You can also do so by clicking the subscribe button down below on the right hand side next to the subscribe button below the screen here. I am on Instagram, Snapchat, and Threads. Thirdly, ladies and gentlemen, please help me reach and achieve the overall channel goal of 150 plus subscribers. The reason why I am saying 150 plus subscribers, ladies and gentlemen, is because right after we reach and achieve the goal of 150 subscribers, we have more subscribers to reach and achieve right after we reach and achieve the goal of 150 subscribers. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, know that to please look for the points of light in today's induced darkness by the illegal, corrupt, unconstitutional Trump administration. And know that justice will prevail on the correct side of the law despite their unconstitutional, illegal behaviors and executive orders and actions.